if you look at the stretch of the route from Kintampo to Paga, including the Tamale town routes and the Bolga town routes, were all done under President Rawlings. I don't think that there is any road infrastructure that is longer than that road between Kintampo to Paga. That is the border, the end of Ghana, and which included the town routes of these two cities, Tamale and Bolga. So you see that within Tamale Township, the road network is solid.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the feeder roads are things that we do not have much, and that is where you have this food coming from. Under President Mahama, you had a lot of infrastructure, the hospitals, because the health need of the people was a tremendous challenge. You've seen what happened in the Tamale Teaching Hospital, the upgradement of the other hospitals, and a lot of feeder routes were done. A classical one has to do with the Eastern Corridor. The Eastern Corridor was geared towards shortening the time of travel. If you use the Eastern Corridor, let's say with a Land Cruiser or a very strong car, even at this stage, you can spend about 5-6 hours to get to Tamale. But if the road is completed, you would spend about 3, maximum 4 hours to Tamale or to Bolga. And this included the Karaga, the Nantong Karaga route. I mean, this was something that was going to, but unfortunately, they were all abandoned for almost 5 years. So it is our hope that something is done. We have been told about the overhead, the bypass in Tamale. I don't think that that is really the interest of the people. That is what they want.
Not needed at the moment?
Yes, it is not, considering the fact that even access roads are unavailable in Tamale. If you have the bypass, I'm not saying it's not good, don't get me wrong, it is. But between that and access routes, between that and feeder routes within the other adjacent communities to Tamale, I think that the people would take the latter. So I'm saying that government could have done that and again focus and continue with some of the feeder routes infrastructure that President Mahama started.
All right. Well, we'll be talking about fuel prices and the fact that it is likely to hit 11 cedis per litre as at today. And so if you're going to buy fuel today, in fact, yesterday Cookie mentioned that she tried buying fuel and they signaled her that there was no fuel available. For a number of these fuel stations as well, they have also taken the price off their display board, and I'm sure that they're waiting to see what the prices will be today. But it's likely, per the NPA petroleum price indicators, it says that diesel is likely to increase by 30.41%. So you're going to buy diesel for 10 cedis, 72 pesos. Petrol will increase by 18.25%. That's going to move from 8.22 cedis per litre to 9.72 per litre, and LPG a 23% increase from 9.8 Ghana cedis per kilogram to 12.04 Ghana cedis per kilogram. And in fact, COPEC has been talking. They're saying that they're going to hit the streets by Friday if government does not cushion Ghanaians with regards to the increase in fuel prices. The bulk oil distributors are also complaining. They're saying that one of the major reasons why fuel prices are going up is because of the fast depreciation of the Ghana cedi. So for an additional insight into why the declining price of crude oil on the world market is not reflecting at the pumps in Ghana, well, we reached out to the Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors, Senor Hosi, and this is what he had to say.
Yes, you may have seen a dip, but we don't price on a daily basis based on the world market. But we may price and change prices within a window more driven by changes in the exchange rate, because that is a real-time factor and you have to make provisions for it. So it's good that we are seeing a drop thanks to all kinds of geopolitical movements, and in all honesty there's been unnecessary speculation on the market by traders who have taken advantage of it. But that immediate drop will not immediately translate. So these benefits you are seeing after the 11th of March will only reflect in our market come April 1st.
All right, and that is Senor Hosi. He's the CEO of the Chamber for Bulk Oil Distributors. Joining us this morning as well is Dennis Miracles of Boaji. And, well, he's been appointed as well the Director for Local Government Decentralization and Rural Development as the President. He says I should make it short. Presidential staffer. Good morning.
Good morning, Bella.
How are you doing?
Oh, we're good. God has been good, so.
We haven't seen you since your appointment.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah, that's strange.
He wasn't chopping.
That's strange. He wasn't
Now
chopping.
that he has succeeded in breaking through
I
the
haven't-
bandage
So he has
of
forgotten us.
chop.
You're chopping the money alone.
But I'm here this
No,
morning.
but
After 4
He
weeks.
called me last night that
I
he
nev-
was
I
coming.
never
I should
called
join
you.
him.
I never
He
did.
called me last night that I
I
should
never
join
did.
him.
Congratulations on
I
your
take on the
appointment,
mentorship
by the
from
way.
him every morning.
I see. Congratulations. How's
Thank
it
you,
going
Bella.
so far?
Oh, I mean, it's only a privilege that you are called upon to, contribute your quota towards the development of the state. So we call for grace and God's mercies, so we can also do our part. That's all.
Even before we get into the fuel conversation, I just wanted to pick your thoughts. Since you are working at the presidency with regards to rural development, I was in the northern region over the weekend, and development has been very slow. Barely existent. And I'm talking about the livelihood of people who live in the communities, especially even Tamale. And this is supposed to be a major, exactly. And if you look at the way people live, it's as if they still live in, the historical era. There's no development. Education is really low for a number of people there as well. And for a lot of them, they live in abject poverty. That is what I noticed.
I think we as a nation has been working towards reducing poverty across the country, and not just one particular area. Of course, if we pick our map, it's obvious that we've had some developments queuing towards certain areas than others, and I'm glad you sort of clarified, because initially when you said development has been slow, I was a bit taken aback, but it's something that we're working towards as a state. I mean, not just in Tamale. Even if you drive 30-40 minutes away from Greater Accra, Accra, towards Shayo Sudoku, you'd realize that yes, we still have some citizens living in difficulty and poverty, and so it's something that we all continuously need to put our minds to it and drive towards reducing this thing. There are certain fundamentals that need to be put in place to be able to move such communities off that grade. So long as we continue to have programs like livelihood empowerment program LEAP, which is supposed to support extreme poor people, then it tells me that nobody can contest the point you are making. But that is why certain critical interventions are important in these areas. It will take a while. It's not going to be a 9-day wonder for you to simply get people out of that situation. You need to provide them with quality education. You need to provide them with quality health care. These two things would ensure that in about 10-15 years, the level of enlightenment will be elevated, the skill level will be elevated, and then they will be able to be a bit more productive for them. They need to get water, they need to get electricity. These are things that I think that we need to continuously strive for. I don't know which part of Tamale you went to, but even if you go beyond there, another Mutala
went to Sorobo.
Yes, it's even far. Come to the eastern region, go to Greater Accra, central region, Brongahafo, almost every region that you enter, there are certain sects of our population that really require our urgent attention, and that is what, for me, local government and rural development is meant to do. And so we need to work towards improving that sector so that governance and development can get very, very, very close. If you remember, in 2016, that would be my last point,
Make it brief,
when we were discussing projects and development across the country, and some of us were making strong arguments against trivializing projects like boreholes and toilet facilities and little chips compounds. These things make a lot of difference in the lives of the rural communities. And so if you're in Accra and probably you see a community with a borehole and they're having fanfares, you'd be wondering, what is this? But for those communities, Ramutala will agree that it makes a lot of difference. And we need to push more of such things into such areas so that they can also get to the level that
all right, let's just move on. Let's just move on.
Just 30 seconds. The sad aspects of it is, and I'm happy he is the one making this comment because he has been a DC before. Ask him. The whole of last year, not a single quarter of common fund was released to any district assembly in this country.
No, that's not correct.
Please. Not one. Not one. And I challenge you to prove me wrong and shame me. Not even one. MPs, the whole of last year, only one quarter was released. I mean, come on. One quarter. And in fact, That 1 quarter which was released, government had to go in for loan to release that to MPs. And that is why our position was that you can't release 1 quarter for us and you don't release even a quarter for district assemblies. The reason why they can't speak out, because privately you meet these MMDCs, they complain. They can't speak out because you dare speak out and then you are sacked. He knows too well, and this is not something
that they speak out and they're sacked.
Of course.
Why would they be sacked for speaking out? That they have not received their funds.
Come on. I mean, this country, we are not being ruled like a democracy. The president rules us like a king. I'm saying that you can't speak up. We have seen teachers who have even spoken out against the inadequacy of certain things they need in their schools, and they've been transferred. I am surprised that he sits here and then he says that it is not true that they were released. Not even a single quarter. Not if they were released. Tell me how much. Not a single quarter.
Let me quickly correct this. No, but it's important. I think this topic is a very, very
important. Because the reason why it's important, because what you have seen,
a
lot of these districts, these districts don't have any capacity to generate any money.
Okay, so Bella,
I mean, the bigger metropolitan municipal assembly, and I have had the position that we should insulate them even from the common fund. They have the capacity to generate money. Go to a district like Nantong district. They have nothing, virtually nothing. So there are a lot of districts who are holding cap, waiting for common fund to be released. When you haven't released even a single quarter, how can they improve the living conditions?
So it's important that sometimes some of these things we put it in the holistic, picture. So it is not only the common fund that district assemblies develop their communities with. You have the district assembly common fund, you have the internally generated fund, you have the district development funds, what we recently call DPARTs, and then you have several other interventions. Some districts have the social safety net program, some districts have the Ghana Secondary Cities program. For example, Boko. Boko, I think Boko is in your area.
No,
Boko in 2019 received close to about, in fact, they received 5 million Ghana cedis. 5 million Ghana cedis under the Ghana Secondary Cities project for developmental programs. In 2020, Boko received 5.8 million. Now, I tell you what.
What did they use the money for?
Please, let me just explain. So, in 2019 and 2020, Boko Municipal Assembly has received a cumulative amount of about 11 million.
Okay.
This is an amount of money that even the common fund for 10 years will not give you that much. Common fund.
How much is the common fund?
Quarterly is about 280,000. Even I, as a municipality in the Kuapem North,
answering the question.
No, please. Common fund in the Kuapem North. In my entire 4 years in the Kuapem North, I didn't receive, if you put it all together per quarter, it's not more than 4 million Ghana cedis.
Okay.
Because you're receiving an average of 250,000. Okay, and yet the district development fund gave me close to about 1 million Ghana cedis every year. So even if I haven't received my common fund in 2020, Boko, in 2020, they received 5.8 million Ghana cedis. In 2019, they received 5 million Ghana cedis.
Okay.
You understand? They have the IGF, okay? They have the DPART and all these,
So these are the ones, apart from the internally generated revenue,
yes.
The others, where are they
coming from?
They come from different sources. For example, the Ghana Secondary City program, it comes from the World Bank, and it's part of the. It's a Ghana government fund that they are giving to the assemblies to work with.
Does it come as a loan?
No, please let me explain. So the point
does it come as a loan?
Yes,
by the way?
yes.
So we have
and it's for development. And it's for development.
Okay.
So the point is that if you sit on TV and you say that because they haven't received the common fund, that is why there's no development going on there. That is erroneous. Because in fact, with the sources of funding that the districts have, the common fund is the least, it's the smallest in terms of how much comes to them. Like I told you, the average is about 250, 280,000 Ghana cedis. That is true. I have been MCE. You can verify from everywhere. 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. In fact, that was even the highest. If you compare it to the past.
In your district,
yes.
What was the DPART amounts that you received, or you were
800. I mean, 800,000. You know, usually they are based on several factors, and then it's computed and then it's disbursed to you. But I've received 800,000 before. I've received 1.2 million cedis before. I think 700,000 before.
And all these amounts, what did you use it for?
I mean, for 2018, we used this to build a CHIPS compound in Obosomase and a CHIPS compound in Okrase. We've put up rehabilitated the health center in Latte. There's a road, a town road in Ekropon that is being opened up. So that these are some of the things you
by
use.
the World Bank.
These are some of the things you use these funds for. But the fact remains that it is completely false, completely erroneous for anybody to put it out there that district assemblies only live on common funds.
Who says that? Nobody said that here.
For which reason?
Don't please.
I said for everybody.
But hold on.
You are reacting, Bella. You are reacting to a statement I made. What you succeeded in doing, in exposing yourself, the more. What you have just done is embarrassingly exposing yourself, the more.
How
I
so?
made specific statement. I said first and foremost that not a single common fund was released. You said no. That is not true. It means that you are doubting the statement that common fund was indeed not released. The second one was that I said a lot of these districts depend on common fund. They have no any other source of funding. Then he came. Look, let me tell you, the World Bank issues he's talking about. These are specific targeted World Bank funded projects. Specific targeted. How many districts or metropolitan or municipal assemblies in Ghana will enjoy that? We are talking about a common fund. And he says that it is not true that district assemblies rely on common fund. I haven't said that anyway, but I can tell you that majority of the district assemblies rely on common fund. In fact, please, and for the avoidance of doubt, my thesis was on local government. And I have worked with the local government long before you. I have an appreciation of what goes in there. And I served in committees that deal with this. Majority of the district assemblies were actually depend on district assembly common fund. I'm saying majority of them.
Majority. And I'm saying that majority of them depend on
that
only.
The reason is that they simply don't have any source of funding. In fact, the internal generated funds is nothing to write home about. And I can tell you, go to Nantong, go to Savlugu, go to some of the districts and ask them how much do they generate a month as a result of internal generated funds. They may not even get 5,000 Ghana cedis. So please, let's be very truthful.
But you had said something earlier that we should find a way.
Bella, he was challenging the statement. He was challenging the statement. First of all, he challenged the statement that common fund has not been released. And I'm saying that not a single quarter has been released. And I've also stated that even MP's common fund that augment or complement the works that they do at the assemblies, just 1 quarter has been released. Now he said that is not true. So the expectation, I believe, of your viewing public was that he was going to tell me that no, 2 quarters or 3 quarters have been released. I am still waiting for response. The other one is that I said a lot of the district assemblies, if you look at the IGF, it's nothing to write home about. They virtually don't get anything. Remember, I didn't even stop there. I said that I am a proponent of the fact that let's insulate some of the metropolitan and municipal assemblies from this, so that the monies that come could be redistributed among the districts that internal generated
so that those who are getting the deep part and all these other funds will not have to rely on it.
They are specific. They are specific World Bank projects.
I understand.
So don't bring it there.
So if you are saying insulate them, hold on, Dennis. If you are saying insulate them, does it mean that so these other districts who are able to generate internal revenue and also rely on the deep part and all that, they would not need the district assembly common fund? Is that what you're saying?
For example, the deep part he's talking about. For example, there's water crisis in Tamale. Bella, I had to provide about 25 mechanized boreholes as the MP, and it is not even adequate. Now, the government can request right through the World Bank. We have this challenge and we need that support. World Bank would assess it, and World Bank would say that we are releasing this amount of money for this specific project. World Bank is not releasing it for the 260 districts across the country. They release it for specific. I want to ask him. I want to ask him, between last year and this year, what of that money was released? So people cannot be relying on World Bank, which seldom comes
anyway. But he just gave us
when he was there,
Boku.
I am saying
he even talked about Boku and how much they have released.
Boku alone is not, I'm saying we have 260 districts. So every district assembly, no matter what funding they get for execution of their projects from any World Bank or EU or whatever, the first line of survivor is the district assembly common fund.
All right.
So what are you talking about?
So Bella, first of all, I want to put it on record that last year there were two quarters of common fund released to the district.
That is not
all
number
two.
Yes,
that
number
is the
two.
lie.
All districts.
That is the
Hold on.
lie.
All districts received 2 quarters.
Common fund, when you're receiving it, when you're releasing it, you release it to the
When
districts.
exactly did they receive it?
That is not even true. He's lying.
Number 2, can you stop this?
It's not true.
Comrade, please allow him to speak.
Can you stop this? I sat down and listened.
But you don't have the exact time at which these funds were released.
Yes, I can't give you the exact dates.
But you are sure that they were released to all districts in this country?
Yes, number 2.
It's just dawned on him now to make that statement.
Why are you doing this?
Dennis, carry on.
Number two. So the district, the D part, is not a World Bank directed a fund as to telling the people what they should use it for. Let me tell you why.
Nobody said that.
No, that's what you're saying. You said the World Bank. Why are you doing this?
Have I said that?
Comrade, please allow him to speak.
Don't misrepresent me.
Comrade,
I haven't
please allow
said
him.
that. What
Allow
I
him.
said.
No, but so you want to take the time again?
No, but don't misrepresent me.
Okay.
Oh, what you're doing this
don't,
one is so
Understood.
unfair.
Don't say things
So,
that
No,
you
that's
said.
exactly what you
DPAS is
said.
not from World
I
Bank.
never
Is that what you're saying?
No, what I said was, and that's why I said, don't misrepresent.
So allow him
No, but
to
Bella,
speak
but why?
then.
Why
Allow
are
him
you
to
doing
speak.
this? Okay,
I want us to move away from
No,
this topic.
you
by
said
the
But he
way.
shouldn't misrepresent
Allow him to
what
speak.
I
Comrade,
said.
please.
I didn't say
Please,
that.
allow him.
Honorable Tala,
Dennis,
what
please
you're doing
carry
this
on.
one is completely
Dennis,
unfair.
would you want me
Dennis,
to?
carry on.
But don't say
Comrade,
Should I speak
Comrade,
or I should give you the whole day?
Allow him.
I am
please.
saying that when the funds are being released to the districts, the districts are requested to submit what they call the work plan. So you develop your work plan saying that this amount of money that has been allocated to my district, 1 million. I want to use 200,000 to build this school. I want to use 50,000 to construct this road. I want to use 30,000 to build this water system. And then based on that, the funds will be released to you, and then you execute those projects. That is the RFGD part that we are talking about.
Yeah.
And these funds goes to the district assembly as part of the funding sources that they can use for their development. Number two, that is not the only thing. There are some municipalities and district assemblies who receive additional funding. And I gave you that of Boko. If you go to East Gonja, that is in this area.
That's
In
not my area. You don't even know my area.
in 2020,
me from
they
Boko to
received
East
in excess
Gonja.
of about 4 million for development programs in the area. And so the point I am making is that the district assemblies and the municipalities and the metropolitan assemblies, they have several other sources of funding that goes in to develop the area. And that indeed, as a matter of fact, without any controversy around it, with all the sources of funding that they receive, the district assembly common fund is the smallest and the least.
Okay.
Do you know how much a 6-unit classroom block costs?
Okay.
1/4 of a district assembly common fund cannot even put up a 6-unit classroom block in the district. Check.
It cannot.
It cannot.
It's not true.
Oh, I am telling you that
cannot?
it cannot.
It's not
I am
There are
telling you
about
that he don't know. He
280,000
doesn't know what he's talking about.
There are about 280,000 that you mentioned cannot
It cannot.
put up.
280,000 cannot put up a 6-unit classroom block anywhere in Ghana.
That is not true.
Anywhere in Ghana, a 6-unit classroom block, anywhere in Ghana.
That is not
And so, for example, if you are receiving even 2/4 of common fund, you are getting an average of about 500,000. And so these other sources of funding, which are there, they have been released to the district assemblies and the municipalities.
You're saying it
are
is
being
not
used-
enough.
Are being
They're not
used.
even being released. Don't
Why?
allow
So,
him to
so, so,
stop you.
so hold
Stop
on. You're
disrupting
saying
me.
it was
Stop it.
released as at
you're
October.
not being
As at
truthful.
October 2021,
Dennis,
stop
it was
disrupting
said
me.
that
What you're doing
government
is unfair.
owed
It's
about
completely
2
unfair.
billion Ghana cedis District Assembly's Common Fund, and it's dated back to 2019. So it says 2019, the amount that was owed was 700 million Ghana cedis per the Auditor General's report. In 2020, the Ministry of Finance was owing the District Assembly Common Fund over 587 million Ghana cedis, and in 2021, nothing had been paid as at October 2021.
You are talking about release.
No,
We are talking about releases.
But you are saying
and
that.
you're talking about
no,
cumulatives.
hold on. You are saying that about 2/4 of it was released last year. And I'm just telling you that as at 2021 October, nothing had been released. That's why I want the specific time when
I'll
it
check the
was
specific
released.
times and give to you.
So that you can
But
put
they-
it
they
out for
had
people
releases.
to know.
I'll give you the specific times. I'll find it and send it to you. But the way releases. But the point remains that the District Assembly Common Fund, the IGF, and the other sources of funding that goes to the district are all there in the kitty for the District Assembly to use for the development of the people. And so if, for example, Boko, which I've given you specific figures,
Can you give us figures for other places as well? Do you have that?
Yes, I have other places. I can give
I
you.
want Nanton.
I can give you other places
Do you
as
have
well.
Nanton?
Do you have
No,
Kakara?
I can give you the ones that I readily
Okay.
can readily
South Achim.
Where
refer
else do
to.
you
For
have?
example, Brekum. In 2019, Brekum received 7.6 million.
From
In
where?
2020, they received 6.8 million. And let me tell you something.
To execute how?
Brekum used the 7.6 million to do the following projects: the construction of 7 number 20-unit stores, a police post, passenger waiting area, a ticketing room, paving of 8,200 meters square of a lorry park, supply and installation of 30 normal galvanized street light poles in Brekum. Number 2, this is the second project they use it for: construction of 60 normal lockable stores, 1 health post, 1 fire post, and 10-seater WC toilets. Number 3, surfacing of the Brekum Thursday Market roads, 1.35 kilometers. This is what they use the 2019 release for.
How much
Let me
was it
take you-
again?
It was 7.6 million.
7.6
Yes.
million.
Let me take you to 2020, 6.8 million. That is Brekum East. Construction of 754 million. Why? Please, let me
Dennis,
give you the
carry
facts.
on.
Construction of 745 meters of the British Inn Junction Road and provision of street lights on that road. Number 2, construction of a 2-story 40-unit lockable stores, a banking hall, office and external works at Brekum.
And all these are in use at the moment?
I'll give you the status of all of them. Number 3, construction of a 2-story 48-unit lockable store and external works at Brekum.
Okay.
So this is funds that Brekum East received under the GSCP, the Ghana Secondary City Program. So this is not common fund. This is not.
So where's this money from?
Ghana Secondary Cities Program. Okay. It's a government of Ghana money. It is a government of Ghana money.
From where?
What is it from where? What do you mean?
So they are able to give this money
from World Bank.
Let me,
hold on.
Please. You know
so
that
this is money from Ghana, not from maybe World Bank or any other.
No, it's government of Ghana money. They probably took it from the World Bank or wherever. But it's government of Ghana money. It's not a loan. It's not a grant.
It's not a grant.
No, it's not a grant. It is government of Ghana money.
But it came from somewhere else.
Yes, but the District Assembly Common Fund comes from somewhere.
So is it a grant or a loan?
Where the District Assembly Common Fund
comes from? Is it a grant or a loan? That money.
No, but that's what he's asking.
Why don't you do that?
No, hold on.
Where does the government of Ghana?
The District Assembly Common Fund. Is it a grant or a loan?
You are saying
it is not a grant.
It is not a grant. Is it
no,
a loan?
It's a loan from government of Ghana.
So we're paying for it.
But why? There is a Assembly Common Fund. Where does it come from?
Bella.
Okay.
No, please don't listen.
Gentlemen, hold on.
No. I have given you facts.
Hold on, what facts?
He's
No.
putting out
You are not going to interrupt me. I'm not done.
He's putting out figures.
You're not going to do that. You did that.
Hold on. He gave us some figures. If you want to contest it, I'll give you the chance to. But hold on.
You're not going to speak.
Hold on.
You are not
going to speak.
Hold on.
You are giving the opportunity to deceive your viewing public.
Comrade, allow him to speak, please.
Today you have that
allow him to
on this
speak.
program.
Land on this for me. We have to move on.
I am giving you the figures.
What facts?
I can give you that of East Gonja. I can give you that.
We don't need all those details
all I am
anymore.
saying is that these are funds that have gone to the district assemblies, okay, for them to use to develop the district. And I've given you specifically
if we've received these funds, why are we not able to receive funds to be able to give to the district assemblies?
Because there are different sources of all the funds.
So what is delaying? What is delaying the release of the district assembly common fund?
But that one, I will not be able to respond to that now. But the point is that.
But you work at the presidency and
I don't
local government development.
No, it's part of it. The viewing public.
So should you not have that information?
I am not the finance minister. The law says that the finance minister receives all the taxes of the country. And then takes 5% of that money
for the district.
There's a calculation.
Why are you doing this?
You are deceiving the public.
Land and let's move on.
Why are you doing this? And then disburses to the district. And then there are other sources of funding for the district assembly. As we speak, the district assemblies, like I've given you for Brekum East, received almost a cumulative of about 11 million for the 2 years to develop their areas. And I've given you the specific projects that they are using these fundings for. You understand what I'm saying? That is not to say, that does not in any way negate the issue that you raised about abject poverty in some places in the country.
But are the districts really getting this 5%? Yeah. Because we know that some of them have been capped.
What?
Some of them have been capped, so some of the districts are not exactly getting the 5%.
What are you changing the discussion?
No, I'm not. I'm asking you. You're talking about you raised the 5%.
I will change the discussion.
Okay,
but the
5% is supposed to be for all internally generated funds,
and then
right?
It's capped in Parliament.
Yes, but then if you've capped those amounts, so does that mean that some of the districts are not getting the 5%?
All the districts receive a certain amount of money based on a formula that is approved in Parliament.
But are they not supposed to get 5% of everything that is internally generated?
But it's determined in Parliament. It is determined in Parliament. The formula.
Who took the proposal to Parliament?
The finance minister.
Okay.
So when it goes to Parliament, Parliament has the room to approve or disapprove.
But the finance minister did this on behalf of government.
Once Parliament, yes. And so once Parliament approves, it is that formula every year. Once Parliament approves, it is that formula that is used to disburse the funds to the districts. So for me, it's important that we establish these fundamentals that it is not the District Assembly Common Fund alone, which is fact, that district relies on to develop their district. And that's indeed.
Bella,
the other sources of funding are even more, way more than the District Assembly Common Fund.
Gentlemen, we have to move on.
This gentleman is being given space to deceive your viewing public. Today, I won't allow him to do that. We are talking, look, you have your kids. You give the kids job money to go to school every day. And then the kids goes to school, and there's someone, a philanthropist, on the way who gives the kids money. Again, when you give them job money, which is statutory payment.
It is not
Hold on, please.
Hold on.
Oh, please.
No, you shouldn't give that.
Dennis,
Oh,
he's just giving a scenario.
This is an
Hold
analogy.
on. Hold on.
Today, you see, Bella, today.
Let him land.
He won't have the opportunity to
Dennis,
decide
when he was
public.
doing that to you, weren't happy.
Bella,
But you are doing that to him.
Today, you see,
Hold on.
So if you have a philanthropist who thinks that, okay, I like this kid. Okay, then the philanthropist give the kids money once in a while. Between the monies given to the kid by the philanthropist and the one which you give your child, which is compulsory, your moral duty and a responsibility to give the child, which one is important? Let me finish. Let me finish.
Will not give you the money and expect you to pay back.
Hold on. He just admitted he is a loan. He just admitted.
He says it's a loan.
Bella.
So a philanthropist will give it to you for free.
No, Bella, what I'm saying is that,
No.
I'm not talking of freeness or not freeness. I'm not talking of freeness or not. I'll still make my point. You've been exposed today.
Dennis, gentlemen, otherwise we're going to end this conversation.
Bella, you see, that's their strategy.
Dennis, hold on.
When they find it, you see, it's an admission of a defeat of the debate. So allow me to make my point.
No, but
when
if you say philanthropy,
I'm saying it's an analogy. I'm saying that, Bella.
No, but that is giving money for free. But in this case, we're paying back.
It's just a scenario.
Okay.
The scenario is wrong.
I'm saying that the money, which is the moral duty and the responsibility of the parent to give, which you must give for me to go to school, whether a philanthropist or a loan or a grant anybody gives me out there, this is what is important. Because this one is a statutory payment. You are compelled by law to give me that money. You haven't given me. And you sit on this program and then you tell me that, oh no, the district will just have to apply. Why is it that other districts are not applying? Let me tell you, every district has what we call the development plan. Please, I want to educate you.
Dennis, please hold on.
I will school you if you do not know.
Dennis,
You have been there for 4 years.
Dennis, you cannot interject.
You have a district development plan. You see, monies that before government of Ghana goes in for a loan from the World Bank or any other money that you are talking about, government of Ghana would have known what the priorities are. Every district has what they call the district development plan. So within a region, you have a comprehensive development plan of all districts within the region. I just gave you an example. There is an acute water shortage in Tamale. Now, I even filed a question for the Minister of Water to answer. If government sees that this water problem within Tamale Metropolitan Assembly is a key problem, we may not have the funds to execute that. Government of Ghana can rely on some of this funding to be able to execute that project. In any case, when you mention the total amount of money of the project, it comes in bits. Now, we are talking about taxes you have taken. Common fund is calculated based on the revenue that the government generates. A percentage of that revenue is given to district and metropolitan assembly to factor into the decentralization program entirely. It's a statutory fund. Government has, it is illegal for government to refuse to release the money when the monies have been. In fact, the law even says the time within which government should release the money. Now, these monies are not being released. Then he mentioned 2 or 3 districts and says that they have executed these projects. We are talking about 160 districts that we are talking about in this country. Faintly, he has mentioned Boku, mentioned other districts. We are talking about the complaints. In fact, district assemblies and DCs will be very, very angry. Will be very, very angry at you.
He says they've released it, by the way.
He's lying. Absolutely lying. Bella, if they release it, if they release it, they have. I just told you that the MP's Common Fund, they release 1/4. And I can tell you, even the Committee for Local Government held a press conference several times and demanded Honorable Nilanti for several occasions release the District Assembly Common Funds. We talk with these DCs. We have discussions with them. They can't talk.
They have not received
they can't. And he sits here without any fear, with alacrity and proud, and lie to the people of this country that it has
Dennis, land on this for me.
I said I take my mentorship from Honorable Mutala.
You don't take any.
I like. Stop with that.
Why do you like?
I like his confidence with which he puts out certain things. And he says it with so much energy that if you don't take care, if you don't, why you do this? I didn't tell you.
So do you have any?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you
the
something.
fact that you said that it has been released.
Oh, why? I've told you this. I said 2 quarters of 2021.
You have not been able to tell me when it was released. That's why I keep asking. I was hoping that your team would have updated you by now.
I will not be able to.
There's nothing to.
If I tell you that it was released in August and it's not released in August, you hold me to it. But I can tell you that too.
You are supposed to know, Dennis. Again, like I said, You are the advisor.
17th. So I should tell you that I'll be able to know
so
that.
you should
17th
know.
August.
Okay, you should know when.
Oh, don't do that.
Okay, carry on.
Out of how many?
Carry on.
So the fundamentals of the conversation, and in 2 minutes, there is abject poverty in Tamale, and you raised it. And then out of that, he quickly jumped in and said that these districts are not functioning. They are unable to develop because they haven't received the District Assembly Common Fund. Okay, and that is why they are so stretched, they are unable to perform and do anything.
That's a fact.
That is a complete falsehood.
Oh, isn't it a fact?
How is it a falsehood?
It's a falsehood because for the district to be able to develop, they rely on about 4 or 5 sources of funding.
Which are?
And so if one of that source of funding is outstanding, it doesn't stop the district from providing essential,
the one that is
essential
most critical.
services. That's what the most critical.
Which one is the most
in
critical?
fact, the one that he's referring as the most critical is the smallest of all the funding that
How?
comes through.
How?
That's why I've told you, and you can verify.
Why is it
Okay.
the smallest?
In my entire 4 years
Why is
in
it the
office,
smallest?
if you put together all the common fund that came, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. If you put it together, you will not get 4 million.
But if the government didn't get that funding for that project,
what you are doing is so wrong. Because the average quarterly release is between 250 and 280,000 Ghana cedis. Okay?
Yeah.
And I've just told you that money, you see the sort of project I mentioned, Bekum East is doing, Common Fund cannot execute it.
It cannot.
Common Fund cannot build a 40 unit lockable stores.
But
It's so small.
if even
It's
the
so
districts are
small.
supposed to generate monies internally as well to support their development. I mean, in the 2022 budget, we had the finance minister say that even property rate, they were going to take it away from the district assemblies and give it to a private institution. So they would rather collect the property rate and they'll get 40%
No, they didn't say that.
No, they did.
No, that's not what they said.
He
What
challenged
The
Everything.
finance minister said that 40% will go to the private institution and government and the district will
he has
share
taken
the
out this.
60%.
They didn't
Quite
say
a long
that.
time.
They didn't say that?
Yes. What
did they say?
What the economic policy
No, what
said.
did they say?
Oh, stop it. It says that
Would you stop it?
the district assemblies are unable to collect the property, which is fact. Because there are certain things that goes into property rate collection that the district assembly don't have the capacity. For example, valuation of the properties is so expensive that very few assemblies can afford to even get valuations done before they're even able to generate the bills and collect the properties. So what the central government has decided to do is that they are going to work with the GRA. That's what the statement said. It never said private company. It said GRA. And then the GRA will take over the collection of the property rates, provide a common platform for the collection of the property rate. And then when they collect the rate, it will be given to the district assemblies less the cost and the fees that the GRA will spend in collecting that.
What's the
that
ratio?
rate.
It's 40, 30, 30.
No, I haven't seen the ratio.
It's 40, 30, 30. I have
haven't-
seen it.
no, I haven't
You
seen
advise
it.
the minister. You don't know.
I haven't seen it. I cannot
40%
Yeah,
goes
but
to
did you
the
see
private. I've
He
seen
has
it.
taken up his job.
I've
not
seen
for
it.
long.
And that's why
It's
I'm
not
very
in the- it's not in the budget. It's not
that
in the budget.
40% goes to the private institution.
Which private
and 30,
institution? What's the name of the private
30,
institution?
30 goes to government
know, say you
and
don't
to the
know.
district
What's the private
assemblies.
institution? What's the name of the private institution? Where did you get this?
No, you
That's what I
cannot
want
ask
to
me
know.
questions.
No,
You advise the minister.
No, I'm saying what you are saying.
You advise the minister.
No, I am
You should know
asking where
this.
you saw
No,
this.
yes,
You should know this.
I am telling you that what you are saying.
There is going to be
Where?
a private collection
Where did you
Yes.
find out?
of the monies.
Where did you
But they
find
said
out?
Where did
it.
you arrive?
Why are you
He said it
asking
where?
me?
You
You
arrived.
should
He
know.
said it where?
You should know.
He said it where?
You should know.
I haven't heard it. That's what I'm
You
asking
haven't
you.
heard
Where
it.
did
And
you
you are the
arrive?
He said it
advisor.
where?
You don't
He
know
said
that?
it where?
You don't know
No,
that.
I want to
So,
know
Bella,
because
he
the
has
budget
Interesting. Has the
statement.
collection started,
No,
by
the
the way?
budget statement.
Has
the
the collection
budget
started?
statement that the minister read doesn't have what you are
It's
saying.
not
Has the
about budget
collection
statement.
started?
He's
It
not
doesn't
talking
have
about
it.
bu-
Has
he's
the
not talking
collection
about
No, but
budget
where did the minister
You
say
see,
that?
say you don't know.
No, the
Mutala,
minister.
please allow him.
It's a matter
Bella,
of
Has
humanity.
the collection
Yeah,
started by
It's
the
very
you say it's the
important.
GRA?
No, I'll come to that.
Has the
Before I
collection
respond.
started?
Before I respond to that,
Has the
I want us to
collection
educate the
started?
public. Where did you find
Has the collection
the 40,
started? You are not the
30?
host on the show. You cannot come
No,
and
but
be
then
asking
that is
me
not true.
questions.
No,
Then
but
that
Has
is
the
not true.
collection
Then the point
started?
you are making is not true.
No, it's
Has
not about
the
the point.
collection
Master, if you do not know,
started?
Yes,
how
the district
much
assemblies
you
are collecting
how
for
much have
now.
they
The
collected
district
so far?
assemblies are
Yes,
collecting.
as we speak now, the chief assemblies are collecting because.
But you said the GRA is supposed to collect it.
You
The budget
see,
has been
It's in
approved.
the 2022 budget, but there's a transition phase.
Which-
There are certain mechanisms and certain processes that have to be put in place before the GRA can fully take over and collect.
So how many?
those things.
How long are they going to take? It's a
Please.
2022
Oh.
budget.
Hold on,
We're in
comrade,
March.
please.
So those things are being done. In fact,
When is
Don't
it
let
going to
him
start?
get your way with
When is it
local
gonna start?
government.
In fact, the local government minister. and
Mutala,
I-
please hold on.
The local government minister and I were in, I think, Tama West, TMA, and then Ashaman municipalities 3 days ago. And we realized that they've started, the GRA and the district assemblies have started working on data synchronization and all these things,
And they've started
so
taking them
the
in.
process can start. But in the interim, property owners are paying using the old system, whilst the transition also takes place. But the point is that the Minister of Finance, in reading the budget, clearly indicated that the GRA will be using a common platform in collection of the property rates at the municipalities, and then the collection will be sent back to the assemblies, less the cost of collection and fees for the assemblies to use for development. For me, as a former MC, I think it's one of the best decisions that government can take. Robella, you have no idea the level of properties you have in a place like Adenta or Medina, and yet the assemblies don't have the capacity to collect.
Why did you not also augment their capacity so that they can collect it?
Yeah, but so this
instead
is,
of
this
moving
is,
it
so you see, when they say central government is moving it, it's not like central government is taking the thing from the districts. It's a common platform that is being created so that the central government can provide that necessary capacity. Okay, because after all, the properties are in the district, so they are going to be collected in the district.
What happens to the individual collectors who go around to collect the revenue? Within the districts, we have people who go around and collect these revenues. These are the revenue inspectors.
This would all be part of the transition arrangement. Because, for example, GRA may decide that...
Do you know this for a fact, or you're just assuming?
For a fact. The GRA may decide that, okay, if you have revenue collectors in the assembly who are collecting property rates, and we have to do physical face-to-face collection of property rates, then these people can still collect it under the current platform. Okay. Or what I know for a fact is that a lot of it is going to be digitized. Okay, generation of bills, sending of bills to the property owners, payment of these property rates, and what have you. So all these things are arrangements that are going to put in place to ensure that the collection of the property rate becomes efficient and effective.
Okay.
And then the districts are able to get the needed revenue to be able to deliver their money.
Comrade, please come in for me so we can move on then.
There's a circular that is sent round that a private entity is going to take charge of this collection. He's 60 and he's lying. Hold on, please.
Dennis, please allow him to speak.
No, but you should read the
No, allow him to speak.
There is so much distrust the public has for politicians. What you are doing today, you are giving the public the green card to go ahead, deepening that distrust by peddling falsehood.
But where is your truth?
Let me finish.
No, I will not take this. Where is your truth?
Dennis, please, allow him to speak. When you were speaking, I stopped him from interjecting. Please allow him.
So please.
No, but you don't make that.
Dennis, hold on.
Dennis,
please, allow him.
No,
I'm saying that there's so much distrust.
Is he smiling?
There's so much distrust the public has. And
so make your point.
You have given him the opportunity to peddle absolute
so
falsehood.
tell us the truth.
How have I given him the opportunity?
And get away with them. You see,
the truth.
What generated all this discussion was the fact that you talked about challenges, the level of poverty in the north, the places you visited. And I said, look, a lot of these districts, the District Assembly Common Fund is nothing to write home.
I thought you were going to tell me about the circular.
Oh, please.
Please
I want
allow
to expose
him.
you.
Okay.
You have been exposed
I'm
big
waiting
time
for you.
today.
I'm waiting for you.
Your people will be angry and
I'm waiting
disappointed at
for you.
you
I'm
this
waiting.
morning.
I'm waiting.
And I'm saying that
we're
we're talking about the challenges confronting them. And I said, look, they haven't released the Common Fund the whole of last year. And I said, MPs, only one quarter was released. He said, no, that is not true. The expectation of your viewing public was that he was going to say, that, oh, no, they've released. He had opportunities to speak, and I was insistent, asking him. He never answered. Only for someone to deceive him by sending him a message and say, oh, 2 quarters were released. Please, I was watching you. 2 quarters were released. And then when you ask him when they were released, oh, they were released. You see, Bella, every government, and this kind of interventions by the World Bank and IMF and European Union and others have been there. And I gave a classical example of, let's say, the water crisis in Tamale. For example, the Adenta water crisis. You may have government going in for such facilities. It comes at the beheads of those who are given. It is not at yours. Every year you have your development plan, and he knows, as former MCE, you review, there's something we call a review of the district development plan. Because the districts solely rely on common fund. So they start a project, within a year they are not able to complete the project. Then they wait for the next common fund to continue. Some of these funds he's talking about are given to you for specific projects. You can't use them for administrative costs. You can't, because that is not what it is meant for. The administrative cost of the district is only done by the common fund, and if you have internal generated funds. Unfortunately, some of them barely cannot generate any funds. Now, if you have a money, a statutory funds, which government is in violation of the law for refusing to release those monies, and then you tell me, oh, that is just minute. Even if it is 1 city, that is a statutory fund. And that every year you have your development plan, you plan your district assembly development, juxtaposing that with what you are expected to release. And that is why you have a carry forward of projects. Now, at the Public Accounts Committee, we have had a lot of projects that have been abandoned in several districts, including some of the places he's talking about, because they rely on the District Assembly Common Fund. And some of them will take 4 or 5 years to be able to complete the project. And as the projects delay, what happens is that the cost of executing them also, delay and goes up. And he says, oh no, the District Assembly Common Fund is the lowest. It's about this. When you make, please, stop deceiving people. When you make such statements, the impression anybody watching this program is that apart from the District Assembly Common Fund, there is a fund available for the 160 districts. That is a lie.
How is it a lie?
Bella,
how is it a lie?
I am saying that.
It is true.
Oh, Bella, I am saying that for you to access such funds, there must be specific projects. And in any case, hold on, Bella. You see, I want you to shame me or him. And I'm challenging TV3 that after this program, I want you to do your independent verification so that this gentleman will dare not step a foot here because he knows he's lying. He knows he's lying through his state. I want you to do that and find out whether that fund is available for every district in Ghana and that every district can access. If they can access it, why are people complaining? If they can access it, why is it that none of the districts have any projects that they execute? Why? Don't they have access to that money which you claim that is available? Stop lying to the people of this
country. Well, I'm just getting a message that says that 2/4 of the District Assembly's Common Fund was released in December.
So he said,
Bella, hold on. Bella, you see, Bella, let me remind him. Bella,
it's not a matter of shaming. It's not a matter of shaming. It is not a matter of shaming. I'm not here to shame anyone. What are you proud of? You're supposed to have released 2/4.
Bella, let me remind him.
Hold on, gentlemen, easy, please.
Last year.
What is he saying again?
Bella, let me tell you.
Please, I will.
Bella, absolute ignorance. He's the former MCE. Bella, if you have your quotas that are supposed to release this year and they are not released, and next year they release, you can't describe it as a quota release this year. Find out 2020 third and fourth quarters were not released. Don't be ignorant on this. 2020 third and fourth quarter were not released. So if they release 2020 third and fourth quarter in 2021, it is not at least for 2021. Why are you that ignorant?
Okay, so Bella.
Why are you that ignorant?
Which is the fact, because I didn't read out how much. I didn't read out how much government owed from 2019 up until 2021. So the 2/4 that were released, is that for 2020?
So if you release them in 2020, look, our MPs come on fund. Bella, let me land. Our MPs come on fund. Our MPs come on fund. Let him land.
I'll give you time. Don't worry.
Our MPs common fund. Do you know that 2020 last common fund, that is the fourth quarter of MPs common fund, were not released? So they released it in 2021. You can't say that 2021 they released. It is the arrears of what was not released. Don't be that ignorant.
Okay.
Point me, Dennis.
All you are doing,
I am excited this morning that he has fell on his own sword.
Which sword?
Can you please, I beg you, don't do this.
Carry on, Dennis, please.
You see, and I told the viewers earlier that the confidence in which he peddles some of these things, if you don't take care, he will mislead you. Now, the crux of this whole conversation was when he said the whole of last year, not even a single common fund was released.
But that's the fact.
Please.
Hold on. Okay, carry on.
Please. First of all, you'd realize that he's now explaining after he's been exposed.
If you release, but he's saying, Janice, hold on. That if you've delayed the release for 2020 and even 2019, and you release it in 2021.
We are not kids on this show, and there are not kids watching us. Let me tell you something. When Honorable Murtala Mohammed spoke, the emphatic comment he made was that the whole of 2021, not a single common fund. He didn't say
of course.
Please, don't interrupt me.
But is he wrong to say
He's wrong. He lied. He lied.
How did he lie?
And no, he lied to the extent that when I told him that, listen, there were 2 quarters released last year.
So
he said, can you please? He said that is not true.
But you said the 2 quarters were for 2021.
Did I say that? Go and play. I never said that.
So what did you mean? What did you mean? What did you mean then? Did you mean that so they had released it for 2020?
You see, you'd realize that in our conversation, there is nowhere that I denied that we had arrears when it comes to the common fund. In fact, to the point that when you asked me about why it hasn't gone, I told you I wasn't the finance minister.
Okay.
So it is established that there is arrears. The local government minister, the finance minister, even last week was in parliament also to respond to a question on that. Now, the falsehood and the lie that you put this morning on this TV channel and tried to deceive the entire public. Even when I was sitting here and I corrected him was when he tried
did you
to
correct
tell
me?
the people,
but Dennis,
listen, Bella, I will not allow you.
To be fair, you cannot tell me not allow me.
The viewers.
You are not
He
the one
told us
going to
that-
determine.
he
I'm
told us
sorry.
that-
He's even
I'm sorry.
lying to the
Listen,
public.
listen, Dennis.
You are
Hold
lying
on.
to the public.
Hold
Are
on.
you going to tell him to keep
Hold
quiet?
on. Then, comrade, please hold on.
And he's laughing.
Now,
This is why
if
he
you
does
pay
that.
carry
You're lying.
forward,
You know
hold
you're
on.
lying.
No.
What he meant was that the whole of last year you had not
He
released.
never said that.
Wait.
That is not what. Are you interpreting what he said?
Dennis, hold on.
Are you interpreting what he
He said
said?
that 2021
He
you
never
have
said
not
that.
paid.
Yes.
You
That is
have
what he
not
said.
paid.
That is
So
what
if
he
you
said.
say that you released 2 quarters, that's what I'm asking you now. So
Was
those
it
2 quarters,
2021?
was it for 2021
yes.
or it was for the
For
arrears that you
2021.
owed in
It is for
2020?
Was it the arrears of
So what
2020?
happens to the arrears in
of
2020?
So let's respond to that. But
What
let's
happens?
establish-
Okay.
No, please.
So you have
please.
said for a fact
No,
that
no.
what was
What you
released.
need to
I just
accept-
asked you now,
Relax.
and you said
Bella,
it's for 2021,
Jet
right?
Fund doesn't release arrears.
Comrade, hold on.
They don't
please.
list arrears
Comrade, hold on. No,
before
no,
releasing the
allow
arrears
him.
that they were
Allow
supposed to.
him.
They release the arrears
Bella.
Dennis,
before
hold on.
they release the
What
the
was
second
released?
Let me establish.
Comrade, I've turned off
let me
your mic,
establish-
please.
let me
What was
establish-
released?
let me
The 2 that were
establish- let me
released. Is it for
establish-
2021?
Let me establish the following facts. One, Honorable Murtala Mohammed lied with confidence that no common fund was released in
But that is a
2021.
fact.
He's never said.
But that is a
Are you
fact.
going to stop him?
Comrade, no,
Note
you
it.
can't tell me what to
Oh, I
do.
should note it.
Carry on, by the way.
I should note it.
Because I asked you a question.
He
I
never
need
said.
you.
He never.
I need
I'm
you to
responding to your
respond to
question. I'm
that.
responding.
Okay.
He never said that. Oh, in 2021, the 2020 common fund was not released, or the 2021 common fund was not released. That's not what he said. He tried to deceive the public.
I said the whole
that
of last
the
year,
whole of last
not
year,
a
no
single quarter
common
was
fund.
released.
Yes, and
But
I'm
was
telling
any
you that
quarter released last year?
in December last year, which
you
you
don't
have
know the
confirmed,
date now.
which you have confirmed the date. You have confirmed the date. 2 quarters
Of
of
which one?
2021
Of
was
which one?
released. So that fact, that lie has been corrected.
So was it
on
released
Saturday.
for 2021?
Yes, 2021.
So what about 2020?
2020
And what about
They are in
2019?
arrears.
So you have not paid
Yes,
those?
those are in
No,
arrears.
but then if you release 2 quarters, does that not make up for the
Bella,
arrears? So
Bella,
that
you
now
see,
you start
when you are
afresh?
releasing, when you are releasing,
Bella, he's been
Comrade,
exposed.
comrade,
Do
comrade.
you know there's
Comrade, no, please.
I can understand his
Dennis,
agitation.
carry on.
No, you have been exposed.
Because he lied on TV.
So
have been
you still
exposed.
owe 2020 and 2019?
You see, let me tell you something. Even when we took office in 2017, the government owed the Dish Assemblies 2016 and 2015 2 quarters.
That's not true.
Oh,
Carry
That's
on.
another lie.
If you make your statement.
Right, you see,
make
you-
your statement,
you say
Dennis.
it with confidence and then you'll be
I would
exposed.
expose
Dennis,
you.
make your
So,
statement.
so as we sit on set today, I just don't want to go back and forth. I just want to correct the impression. He lied that not a single quarter of common fund was released.
But
in
that is a
2021.
fact.
It is a lie. You have confirmed
It's a
right
fact.
now that 2 quarters.
But
of
that's what I'm asking you.
2021.
You are
Even
saying
he-
that it was for 2021.
even
So you
he-
still owe
even he.
for 2020. Is that what you're
Bella,
saying?
Bella,
But
Bella,
2
Bella,
quarters. But
Bella,
it
Bella.
defeats the point.
Comrade,
of
hold
it.
on. So you still owe for 2020?
Yes, but
And
but-
2019.
Yes.
But
No,
how do you
2019
pay?
No.
How do you pay 2021
Bella,
And-
Bella,
and
Bella.
you don't
See,
pay
when you do this-
2020?
When you do this, you don't help your viewers.
How don't I help? I'm
Let's
asking
take it.
questions.
Let's take it systematically.
But that's what I'm doing.
You have corrected. Do you accept that?
But do you owe 2020?
No. Do you accept that before?
Do
you
you
come there?
owe for 2020?
No, what sort of
Bella, do you know
argument are
the
you
point
making?
I was trying? Bella, the point I
Do
was
you
trying to
owe
make.
for 2020?
I have
Dennis?
answered that already.
You do.
I am telling you that. Please.
But
don't-
how do you pay for
I am-
2021 when you still owe for
How do
2020?
we-
Why did you not pay those
It's
ones
the calculation of 2020,
Bella, are you
which
going
was
to
even
allow me
paid.
to? Are you going to allow me to
There's a
speak?
calculation.
I'm
What
asking you
was paid
questions.
was for 2020,
Comrade, hold on.
not 2021. Not a single
I am
quarter.
Comrade,
telling you-
please.
I am telling you that honorable member of parliament tried to create an impression on this set today that in 2021 not a single
That is
quarter
a fact.
of common fund
That
was
is
released.
a fact.
Comrade, comrade, please.
And when he said that, he didn't qualify it.
Must I qualify it?
In fact, if you had not come in with all your expertise to correct that impression, a lot of your viewers would have left today thinking that the whole of 2021,
But you didn't
these
pay.
assemblies didn't receive a single common
You
fund.
didn't pay.
Do you understand? So in all fairness, it is important that you let him show remorse. That he lied to the viewers and that indeed 2 quarters was released.
Okay.
Now,
Bella.
it is
Okay, hold on, comrade. Please, hold on.
This gentleman is lying.
No,
You
no,
finish,
hold
I'll
on.
come.
You are still using the word lie. You're
my
lying.
point again
You're
is,
exposed big time.
my
You're lying
point again,
big time, you don't know.
my point again is,
moving
why
on
do
from
you
his-
pay 2021 when you haven't paid 2020?
Moving on from his
Then is
Answer
the
the
question.
Oh, it happens all the time. I've given you a
That
scenario.
you skip payments and
It
pay
happens all
another
the time.
year?
I've given you the scenario. I told you that when we came to office in 2017, yeah, you can verify.
So when will you pay 2020?
You can go to the Dish Assembly. I said I'm not the finance minister. You can
Bella,
ask me.
Bella.
The local
But you
government
are the
minister.
advisor.
The local government ministry only disburses what
Bella,
has been received from
Bella.
the finance ministry.
Bella, do you know common
Okay.
fund is not
You
a fixed
understand?
amount of
The
money?
local
Okay,
government
hold on,
ministry.
comrade.
The local government ministry. They only disburse what has been received from
How
the
do they
finance
disburse
ministry.
it? Okay.
So you can ask the local government
How do
ministry
they disburse it?
why they haven't transferred monies from the finance ministry to the local government ministry.
Bella, do you
For
know
them to
it's not a
disperse
fixed amount of
I see.
money?
to
Do
the
you know it's not a
assembly.
fixed amount of
Okay,
money?
okay,
Do you know it's not a fixed amount
Hold
of
on.
money?
Come
that
on, let
is
him
released?
land.
So
Let him
now
land.
that is established.
Which is
that
established.
even
You are
he-
lying to the
even
people
he
of
as an
this
MP,
country.
he received 2 common fund. He
Which
received
one?
two.
Which
Two.
one?
2 quarters. He
So,
received
so,
2
so
quarters.
there's some
which one?
700 million that was owed for 2019 per the
Yeah.
Auditor General's report.
Which
For
was?
District Assembly Common Fund.
Which
and then
was?
2020 as well, 587
So the
million.
arrears.
So those are arrears that you are yet to pay.
Yes, to the arrears.
Bella,
to
do
the
you know-
arrears.
do you- how-
And you skip that
Bella,
and
which
paid.
It happens all the time.
Bella, the
It
figures-
happens all the
the
time,
figures
and it's
you-
normal.
happens all the
Bella,
time.
the-
It's normal.
Bella.
But you will pay eventually.
Bella, no,
Yes.
the figures you
In
quoted.
fact,
But that's,
you know what?
that's
You know what? You know what?
developments
Bella,
delayed.
Bella, the
But
figures you
it will be
quoted.
paid.
Hold on, please.
He's
Comrade.
lying to your viewing public.
Hold on, comrade, I'll let you speak.
You are ranting. Oh, you've lied.
Oh,
Dennis, hold on. But that's developments delayed.
Say again.
Now, whatever it is that they could have developed at that time, inflation would have caught up
Yes.
with it. So this 587 million for
You know-
2020,
you know what, you know-
they might even require more than that.
In all sincerity, it's for me, nobody accepts that the releases of common funds should delay. Because I agree with you. Once it's delaying, it's affecting a lot of things at the district. For example, those that are common fund committed activities. So if there's a project that you started maybe in August 2020, and it was funded through common fund, and it's delayed, it means that the inflation will catch up with it. Along the line, you have to do variations, and it will increase the cost. No doubt about
Okay.
that. No doubt.
All
No
right.
doubt about that. But you know, irrespective of all these challenges, it's important that when we come on TV and we are putting out the facts, we do not attempt to deceive the public.
Okay.
If you
Point
have not
made.
intervened this morning,
Point
you would
made.
have lied to us. and
Point
made the
made.
viewers feel
Thank
that
you very
no
much,
better
Dennis.
was
First
you.
and
Comrade.
foremost.
He spoke first,
Oh,
so if you finish, I'll
Bella,
finish.
Bella, first and
I am
foremost.
supposed to
Bella,
finish.
Dennis, hold
Bella,
on.
First and foremost, Olga says there are 3 sides to every story. Your side, my side, and the truth. I want to expose his lies. Common fund is not a fixed amount of money that comes to this.
Who has said that?
Oh, please, please. The calculation is based on the revenue generated. So if a district, for example, Medina, was supposed to get 70,000 Ghana cedis in 2020, it wasn't released. Maybe the third quarter 2020, fourth quarter, 100,000 Ghana cedis, it wasn't released. So 2021, government would have to pay the 70,000 and the 100,000. That is the arrears for 2020. That is what must be paid first.
Okay.
So if
You are
in
the finance
hold on, you don't know it, and you are not humble enough to learn. So
You are
if
the
in
finance
2021, let's say first quarter in 2021, government Medina was supposed to get 200,000 Ghana cedis. If government is paying 60,000 Ghana cedis for the third quarter of 2021, you can't say that they have, because they have paid it in 2020, because they have paid it in 2020, it means that they have paid that of 2020 and the 2021 and 2020 is in arrears.
But he said that's what happens all the
No,
time.
I'm saying that they have to pay the arrears
You are
first.
the- you are not the
Hold
finance
on,
minister.
hold on,
You don't
please.
determine
Hold on,
what is
Dennis.
paid and what is not
The
paid.
Okay.
law is very clear.
You are
the
not the
common
finance
fund,
minister.
look,
You are not
the
the
law
finance
is very clear. Until they pay the one in arrears, they won't pay the one that is present. Get that very, very clearly. So please, please,
And he
please.
does it with
Oh,
confidence.
please,
He
please.
does it
I am
with
saying that, and
confidence.
Bella, I
Okay.
want you. That's
Verify,
why I challenge
verify,
you.
yes, verify.
If he's
The same way you exposed him
please,
on the other one.
Dennis.
Please, he has just admitted. You know what he's doing?
But you
He's
admit
doing it
the
for
other
his
one.
party.
You won't
So
admit
just
the
say,
other one.
Dennis, but you are embarrassing yourself the more. This is an intellectual discourse, which I find it very difficult to grasp. If you have an arrears, the calculation is determined based on the revenue generated. So if in the calculation, Medina district is supposed to get, in, let's say 2020 third quarter, they are supposed to get 100,000. Fourth quarter, 100,000. So that is arrears of what? 200,000.
200,
So
yes.
100,000 each. So in 2021, if government gives Medina 100,000, another 100,000. So the 200,000 represents what government owes Medina district or assembly for the 2 quarters of 2020. You can't sit here and you say you have to pay and wait. That is the most ignorant way and uninformed way of analyzing it. And I'll tell him that be humble to learn.
He does it
So
with so much confidence.
what he
He
does
does it
is
with
that
so much
he does that and says, oh,
He does it with so
please,
much confidence.
Mutala lives on TV so that it becomes
does it
something
so
that they
much
show on their
All right.
platform. So
All right.
I want him,
He
I
does
want
it
to,
with so- is it
I
the way
want
you
We have to go.
Bella, I want you to verify.
He wants to have the last word.
What
but
was
he's lying.
paid in 2020?
2 quarters.
Oh, hold
You
on,
see,
hold on.
he says it was for
Bella,
2021.
Bella, what was paid? Bella, you see MPs.
You said none,
Okay.
nothing was
Bella,
paid.
Bella,
You said
I wanna
nothing
project
was
something
paid.
I'll
quickly
make
so
my
we
point,
can
Bella,
go.
You said
see
nothing was
MPs.
paid.
When I told you
You
that
said
we
nothing was
received
paid.
1 quarter in 2020,
2 quarters is what you receive.
Hold on.
Okay.
When I say we receive 1 quarter, I also told you that
2.
2020 last quarter
You
of
received 2.
MPs
You received
were not
2.
paid.
You received 2
But why
quarters.
didn't I say 2 quarters?
You received 2
Okay.
quarters. 2.
All right.
You are just
And you
being
don't say what
ignorant.
you do.
So it was
You are doing it. You are doing it
2020
for
last
people.
quarter.
No, no, no.
Okay.
No, that's not true.
No
Don't
worries.
accept
Let me
this
just put this
confident
up. So
lie.
there's
That's
some
not
people who are putting out,
You're using yourself
No, no, you
some
are.
facts.
You are.
This
You're
one
doing
says,
what you are jumping.
"Good morning,
It's very
Bella.
funny.
You are right about private
very,
companies
very
collecting the
funny. You shouldn't
property
have done
rates."
that.
On a more serious
Dennis, are you
note.
listening?
Yeah, I'm listening.
This is for you.
You see?
This one says, "Good morning, Bella. You're right about private companies collecting the property rates. Example is the Crowell Municipal Assembly. It's Shelter Mart Limited that collected the property rates." And then another
Bella,
one
you're wrong.
also sent. Well, these are messages that are coming
but
in
that's not correct.
with screenshots
No,
of the payments.
Let me do education.
Okay.
Let me do education.
All right.
You know when you say
Let's take a look at it, by
Yes,
the way.
let
It's
me
on the
do-
screen.
Let me do education.
So if we can just put it out
Let me
there.
do-
So
let me
this
do-
is one of them. In fact, this is the Crowell Municipal
So,
Assembly.
Let me do education.
Shelter Mart Limited Property Rate Bill.
You've been exposed.
And the number is
People
also
are
there,
exposing
so
you
you
the
can
more.
call
Please,
and
People are
verify
exposing you the more.
just to be sure. But
Bella,
this
let me-
See, people
some
are exposing you the more.
357.80 Ghana
let me
cedis
do
was
education.
paid.
You see?
It's
Okay.
important
Bella,
that your viewers
What
get-
It
important?
expires
You've
on
been
31st
exposed.
December
You've been
20.
exposed.
Look,
Stop it.
it expires
Would
on
you stop
31st
what?
December
No,
2022,
let
by
me
the
do
way.
Are you
education.
challenging
It's
Okay.
important that the viewers
Okay.
are well educated and informed on your
Okay.
Now, this is the existing practice across the country.
Mm-hmm.
For some districts who are collecting, currently, as it stands now, before the 2022 budget, these assemblies collect their own property rates.
Yeah.
And so for some districts, they outsource it to private people.
With what right?
It
What
is
authority?
based on
With
that.
what
No,
authority?
the assemblies have the authority to do
Who
that.
gave them the authority?
No, they have.
Who gave them the
Oh,
authority?
Okay, comrade, we have to go.
You make it very difficult. You
public.
make it very difficult. Now, so for example, in my district, latter part, we are
Please
sourced
be sending
to
those-
Dexcom.
those text
Now,
messages.
it is based on these things. It is based on things like this that the government of Ghana has decided to step in and said that we cannot allow the district assemblies to, in their struggle, engage in such practices, and yet they are unable to even derive what they are deriving.
But
They are
on
supposed
what
to derive.
right did they have?
So
Because
this is not-
they have district
Approved in the
revenue
budget.
inspectors
But
who
let me-
should collect it. At
let
what
me
point and
educate-
who gave
let
them
me
the
do
right
that.
to
They have
privatize
the
it?
right.
Informing the public.
Should there not be
District
legislation to
assemblies-
support
no,
it?
district, that's why education is important.
Which
district
education?
assemblies, district assemblies as it stands now, until the central government policy has the right through their district assemblies, assemblymen,
Oh, it's
to
a carte
determine,
blanche. That right is
to
a-
determine
it's a carte blanche.
which private sector person they can engage to collect.
And this is
now, as it
this,
stands now,
this is included in Act
in the-
936.
Yes, it's in that 936. It's
That
there.
they can what?
They can outsource.
Which portion
Oh,
exactly?
you want me to? I cannot quote the clause for you, but it's in the act. They can also, they have the power.
That they can outsource?
Yes, they can outsource.
Okay.
But what I am saying is that this is
They
not
said they can collaborate with other assemblies.
They can outsource.
For development.
They can outsource. They can.
Shelter Mart is not an assembly.
I am, Bella,
It's
I
a
am
private
telling you that
entity.
they can outsource.
But you
Okay.
just said here
All
that-
right.
No, but please,
You just
Land
said
on this
that
for me,
Jari-
please. Land on
You
this.
just said
Okay.
on this program
This
that
Land
is
on this,
not
comrade.
what you are seeing from Crowell. It is not the central government arrangement with GRA. Like I told you, that hasn't kick-started yet.
Bella.
And I told
But the
you
local
that.
government minister even said it was going to kickstart in January
No,
this
but
year.
I'm telling you that it hasn't kick-started yet.
But he said
But he
didn't
said
know.
it will
But
start
he
in
said-
January this year.
He said on
Bella,
this program
you
he
need
didn't
to
know when you
help
asked
your
him.
viewers. What you have put on air, on TV, it's not what the
Bella, he
it's
said
not
here
the
he didn't
system.
know.
It's not.
It's not the system
So
that
which one is the system?
GRA is coming to put in place.
Okay.
So
Which one is the
educate
system?
your viewers as such. That's
Which
all.
one
So
is
when
the
GRA
system?
comes, Shelter Mart will go,
They
right?
will go.
They will go.
In fact,
And
some of
GRA
the-
will now
in fact, some of
collect.
the districts were in Ashaman 3 days ago, and the MCE said that they have even already abrogated their contract
Okay.
with their private
Bella.
collector.
All right,
Bella,
all
I
right.
know when
Points
we go
points
off
made.
air.
We have to go.
I know when we
Gentlemen,
go off air, he would
we
make
have to go.
admissions.
Thank you so much.
And I'll
Comrade
urge your
Murtala
people-
Mohammed
I'll
is the
urge your
MP
people
for
to
Tamale
videotape it.
You have lied
Central,
this
and
time.
also
You're
Dennis
angry.
Miracles of Boajes,
You're
a
angry.
presidential
You're
staffer at the
angry.
moment, and he advises on local governance
You're laughing at
and
me.
all of that. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Big thank you to Sheila Bonsu, as usual, for styling me. It's Ghana Month, and so we're rocking African Prince all throughout the month. Keep watching. This is TV3 New Day. We have more coming up right here on the show.
You are not paid.
You like.
perhaps so that mom can be able to open the door. This is it.
Missed on the door.
Here's my little brother doing something special. He's setting the camera up with another bright idea.
Let's just open the door.
Yay!
Mom, I got it.
Now you can be part of the extraordinary world of endless possibilities on Vodafone. With the best value and amazing data offers and services available in Ghana, your dreams are achievable. Get more for less with Vodafone data. Vodafone, further together.
And now, my dear listeners, before I sign out, I would like to introduce to you Tabia Herbal Mixture, a great and effective herbal medicine for malaria,